Hey everyone, Eric Gros-Dubois, EPGD Attorneys at Law. So we just did our annual retreat and the theme was resilience and what does it take to build a resilient firm? And what are some of the characteristics of the leadership? And then what are some of the expectations of the people that are on the team? And what we thought was, this isn't just applying to law firms. Remember, we're a business law firm, which means that we deal with business owners and we deal with businesses. So ideas that some business owners and entrepreneurs are coming to us with now are things that we would never have heard of 5 years ago. And so we're living really at a cutting edge, an amazing time. And one of the things is the attitude. What are the attitudes of a resilient firm? And I think the first one has to do with fear. And it's the opposite. I think we have to be fearless. We have to understand that there is going to be change. There will always be requirements for us to educate ourselves, whether it's on new tools, new applications, new threats, new uses of the technology. And then also not being stuck in our ways, being okay making mistakes. In fact, my partner Oscar and I have always had a management philosophy of making a lot of mistakes. We're not gonna be stuck in our ways where we're always gonna do the things the same way. In fact, we solicit a lot of feedback from our team. A lot of times the people that are in the trenches, on the ground, see things lower down on the pyramid that the guys at the top have a harder time seeing. And so we're always looking for feedback where we try to create a safe place. Every year at our retreat, we do it twice a year. And in this safe place, we want to hear criticism. We want to hear feedback. We want to hear what's not working, what is working. And then we take that, we digest it, and where appropriate and where necessary, we pivot. We're accepting that we're human, that we're always going to be trying to do better, and that's part of our attitude, always trying to do better. Understanding that, yeah, we've got to learn new things. Right now, lawyers across the world are learning how to incorporate AI and generative AI technology into our everyday practice. And these are things that are going to be disrupting, and they're going to disrupt a lot of things, from how our websites are used and analyzed by Google and how the search engine optimization rankings work, to how the tools that we can anticipate our opponents and even our clients are using. And it's funny, we laugh, but when a client has written an email that was clearly written by ChatGPT or one of the other generative AIs. Personally, our firm uses Gemini. And so when opposing counsel. In fact, part of our AI committee, which we created right after we started recognizing that there was this great opportunity or threat, depending on your perspective, on the horizon, was we created an AI committee. And one of the first things we did when we created our AI policy was assume everyone's using AI, for better or for worse. And so we've all heard the horror stories in the law of lawyers submitting briefs to the court, and it turns out that they used ChatGPT and that the brief hallucinated, or ChatGPT hallucinated and included fake cases that nobody can find because they didn't exist, but they looked good and they sounded good. And so we have to assume that all of our law clerks, all of our paralegals, all of our associates, and all of our opposing counsel, and even our clients are all using this technology or misusing it, depending on your perspective. And so we have to be skeptical. Now, it doesn't mean that we should shy away. When the car was invented, I understand that a lot of horseshoe makers were out of a job, but they had to pivot and learn how to fix cars. And then when the typewriter was invented, that changed business profoundly. And then when the word processor was invented, that changed business profoundly. I think back to when I started my career in 2000, I was a file clerk at a medical malpractice defense law firm in Dallas, Texas, and I was a file clerk. My only job was to organize papers. And for that matter, at the time, there were 4 administrative assistants for every 1 lawyer. That was a paralegal, a file clerk, a receptionist, an intake. But the point is that the staff was 1 lawyer to 4 admin. Today, EPGD, we're 1-to-1. Right? So that's just a quarter century later, and we've already eliminated 3 of those jobs that used to be a part of every law firm. And the future is only going to look more like that. And in fact, I see a future in just the next few years where it might be 1 administrative assistant to 2 lawyers, and then eventually 1 administrative assistant to 3 lawyers. And now the only way that's happening is everyone just is having the ability to adapt, to be resilient, to learn new skills. And quite frankly, the these tools are making us more powerful. They're not making us less powerful. So I'm excited about the future. Quite frankly, I say this with no tongue in cheek. I'm excited about all the mistakes I'm going to make in the next couple years, because I'll hopefully be learning from them and hopefully continuing to grow and continuing to build a practice where I love to wake up every morning, come to work, and work with dedicated, hardworking people that are also trying to achieve the same work-life balance and provide for their family and achieve their personal success. So hopefully you guys, if you have any questions about EPGD or if there's anything I can talk to you about, just reach out. I never charge for consultations, and I love to have a call. Thanks.